the home gym's getting along. So I'm actually going to run you through the build of the home gym. I think that'd be pretty cool. Got a few time lapses of myself and Carl working on it. So yes, so currently got full rig set up, as you can see, dumbbell rack, bumpers. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into it now. I do want to show you it when it's done. But yes, what I want to talk to you about today is how to increase your bench press, okay? So how to get that sort of sought after 140 kilos, or even better, like advanced lift level 180 kilos that realistically not many people get to. But I want to talk you through tips, technique, tricks on how to increase your bench, essentially. How to be a very efficient bench presser. That's the key. It's all in the technique and of course in the programming, but technique is king when it comes to a big bench press. When it comes to the bench press, the first thing you always want to think about is your initial setup. If you get your setup right, the rest of your bench tends to follow. It's really common that you see people just rushing through the set, rushing through warm-ups, just because there's no weight on the bar, getting in, throwing it around, not getting tight, not practicing. At the end of the day, if you're gonna have a big bench, you're gonna have to get very, very good at repeating the exact same movement and the exact movement you need as well. So you don't want to practice shit, you want to practice perfection, okay? And to do that, you need to practice it from just having the bar, no weight on it, as you're building up with your warm-up weight. Once you get that set up, then we can move into something a little more. When you set up your bench, think about everything sort of from like the feet up, okay? So I won't talk too much about the feet here, just because it's very specific to people. Generally, I like to be on the toes, drag them in underneath the bench and touch the heels. But it does depend on what works for you. You could go flat foot, but just make sure you've got a solid base. When it comes to the upper body, that's where it really matters. So like, if you think about it, when people jump on a bench, they grab the bar, and they're in this position. There's no tightness, the shoulder blades aren't back, they're not pinned into them shoulder blades essentially, okay? They're forward. A lot of tension goes into the front now, it comes away from the chest. You actually can't activate your triceps as hard up there. It'll increase your range of motion as well, and when we're trying to be a strong bench presser, we actually want to limit that range that we work with. So imagine you jump in, and you're in this position, okay? And you're pressing forward, and you're pressing. You've got all that range that you're working with. Now what we're going to do, we're going to pull the scapula back as hard as we can. We're going to dig it into the bench. We're going to act like we're breaking that bar in half when we've got it. Now we're in this position, so we're down, through. We extend the triceps hard, and that's how we're going to bench. We're going to punch them, and we stay in position, nothing moves. And you use your upper back as that base that you need in order to have that sort of stability when handling bigger loads, okay? You want to feel a lot of the weight actually come through your back and take the emphasis off the pecs to protect the pecs, okay? So the stronger that foundation is, you have that stability, and the lesser that range is, you can punch them triceps through harder than you've ever punched them through before. Think about it, so you're here, punch, or what could you do? All that range. You've like another foot of pressing that can actually happen if you don't get it right, okay? So I'm gonna do a quick setup and I'll show you. So, feet together, get your base that you want. Grip, dependent, I go on the first ring with my little finger. So, pick yourself up off the bench, shoulder blades, scapula squeeze together. You're gonna push upwards and in, drive your heels into the floor, and we unrack. So if you look at this position, chest is high, loads of base, loads of stability. We come down, underneath nipple level, sternum, stability is there, upper back's tight, punch through. Punch, punch, yeah? If I weren't in position, I'd look like this. Look at the range difference on that. It just looks unstable and uncomfortable. all about setup. It's all about setup, okay? There's lots of different things you can go into with it, but setup's the key. Once you've got the setup right and you get the line right, personally where I prefer to go is just where you're hitting like the sternum, underneath your pecs essentially, underneath your nipple levels. So my nipple level's here, I like to press here, and what that does, if you look, it actually keeps me really in line as I'm pressing. If I was higher, I'd sort of start pressing away, and again, increases that range of motion. So, next time you bench press, give that setup a try. Really basic. I'm actually going to do a really in-depth video on this at some point, but I kind of want to talk through just a few little bits, okay? Once you get that right, then you have the right to really start pushing other parts of your training, okay? But if you're moaning that you've not got a great bench, yeah, and even just your setup's not right, you need to start there before you go on to like section 2 of how to get a big bench, essentially, okay? Start there. So guys, I'm gonna leave the video there. I think we've had a whole push day in there with you, with Jake, Dan and Jack. I hope you took some bits away from that in terms of how maybe you could set up your own push day. I don't know, but what we did was a great setup with a lot of chest emphasis that went into it. But yeah, try them tips for the bench press setup, and then in future videos I'm going to go way more in depth in pretty much how to get that repetition correct, how to program really well for the bench, what sort of frequency you should use, what sort of rep ranges, how many sets you should do in terms of like total volume, what sort of intensities you should be using across the week as well, in order to let you recover, in order to let you progress and get the most out of your training. So we're going to be going through a lot of different stuff, so keep your eye out for that stuff. But for now, if you will, if you like the video, if you felt you got something from it, please click like and subscribe if you haven't. Clicking like and commenting on the video actually helps the video out way more than you realise. And of course the goal is to grow on YouTube, so help me out with that. Click the like button, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. See you then. I'm always